Hello, welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. Um, so glad that you guys could join us for this Facebook Live experience. My name is Nichole DuBarry, and I am the Director of Training for CASA of Oklahoma County. And with us today, we have our training specialist, Ja'Kee Rivers. And so
Hello, everyone.
the two of us are just going to talk a little bit about training with you today, about what we're doing, the changes, and the opportunities for training for our volunteers. So I will let Ja'Kee go on ahead and get it started by talking about what training looks like now. So go ahead, Ja'Kee.
So, due to the current situation we're experiencing, we've had to kind of revamp the way that we do training. And so, if you came through training some time ago, the model of the flex is similar to what we're doing right now. So, it's virtual. We're using Zoom to connect with our volunteers. And so Nichole has done a great job of going through and modifying the curriculum so that we can better serve and administer the training. And so currently we are offering the training 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They are 2 hours now. Typically those are 3 hours. Long, but due to having to sit in front of a screen, we thought that there might be some challenges to get people to sit there for 3 hours in front of a screen. So Nichole has done a great job of kind of condensing that. It does mean that the volunteers have to do more on their own as far as their own private study, because they do still have to have a certain amount of hours before they can be sworn in. So basically, we're modifying the curriculum so that we can do that through Zoom. And so far, it's been really good. I don't, it's been a challenge, but we still are able to have some very meaningful discussion and engage our volunteers that way.
Yeah, I mean, change is difficult, I think, anyway. But Ja'Kee is right, and he's giving me credit, but I don't want to act like it was all me. Ja'Kee has been so helpful in figuring out Zoom and polls and questions and videos and all of that, and so he's been great as well. And we've taken a lot of pointers from National CASA and been working with our state affiliate too. So yeah, it's a challenge, but right now, honestly, it's going well because we have had really rich
Mhm.
discussions. This week we were talking about child development, and yeah, lots of really good people in there that are having really good talks about our subjects for sure.
And I know that that was one of the things that we were kind of worried about, having to switch to this model because we're so used to being able to engage everyone on a personal face-to-face level. But we've been able to still keep that element even with this modified way of administering the curriculum.
Um, Usually, in starting in week 3, we'll be having case studies with the classes, and so that's when they actually sit down with the case and walk through it how a CASA would. And during that time, we have an advocate supervisor to come through too. So we'll start that next week. So we're entering a whole new realm of the online Zoom training, breaking into groups and administering these interviews for everybody to read. So it will be interesting, but again, I think that people are latching on, and it's going pretty well. Very few technical difficulties right now.
I know, which I'm really shocked because we know historically um, technology is not always our friend, but we, it's been pretty seamless, I would say,
Yeah,
and how everything is ran so far.
yeah, it's been good. So while we're talking about the training that's going on right now, I figured that we could also talk about the current opportunities and some of the things that are taking place with training even now. And Generally, as all of our volunteers know, they're required to get 12 hours of training a year, every calendar year, that they are serving with CASA. And generally, that can be gotten by a number of ways. They can watch movies, videos, they can webinars, they can do readings, and we also at the office provide trainings every month, and other people, other resources might have trainings for them. But excuse me, we know that right now with social distancing, we're not able to have people go out and receive training. So it is looking different for us right now, and probably will for quite some time. So with the help of advocate supervisors and staff, and then Ja'Kee and I have been working at providing opportunities for our volunteers, finding what's out there, what's available. And so it has been definitely an experience as well. Anything to say, Ja'Kee?
Oh, yeah. So I apologize. I'm up here looking at some notes and stuff like that. So we have compiled a list of opportunities that volunteers can take advantage of from home. With the movies, a lot of these can be viewed on platforms that are common, like Netflix and Amazon Prime, Hulu, so forth and so on. And so we will roll out that list. There are several webinars that can be seen from my YouTube. There are a couple webinars that can be accessed that you have to create a login for, which we can, walk anybody through that wants to do that. And then there are some videos and documentaries that we've been made aware of that are really good as well. Those are about an hour long a piece. So we're trying to create some opportunities that volunteers can take advantage of, while being quarantined at home. Now, we're not suggesting that you get all 12 of your hours necessarily by, binge watching movies. We want to kind of diversify that a little bit. Like me, I'm not huge into reading. I will, but if I much rather, watch a webinar, watch a movie, or watch a documentary. So we try to mix it up a little bit so that volunteers have some options there, at least until we're able to attend things in person. There is a competition that will be rolling out this Friday, I believe, or tomorrow, in which that information will go out, in which we are offering a prize for volunteers who complete 6 hours of training. There are guidelines and rules to this, so all that information will be rolled out, and you'll have that. Of course, if you have any additional questions, you can contact either myself, Nichole, or really any of the advocate supervisors, as all of them will have the information. And it's just something fun to do while we're kind of stuck at home. And it'll be just something that, we can get some learning in, and there's going to be a prize for who wins that competition. So, as well.
Does that competition take place? Is it on weeks, or how long is it?
I don't know the time frame yet. I do know it starts tomorrow. I do know that it's 6 hours that we are requiring, and there is going to be a condensed list of ways to get the 6 hours. So there are some rules and guidelines to it. I don't know how long that it's open just yet, but all that information will be included when that is officially rolled out on tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this competition, like Ja'Kee said, is just going to be kind of a fun way to get some training in, and to maybe get a prize while you're getting your training. I, I like what Ja'Kee said about our intent isn't for you all, for our volunteers, to just binge 12 hours of Netflix and check off the box that you got your training. As the director of training, I am hoping that what you are receiving is focused and intentional. It's something that you can apply 2-year walk as a court-appointed special advocate. So this is still supposed to be fun, but also don't just watch a video and say that you did some training. We'll show you some of the opportunities that we have for you in just a moment. But again, I just want to stress that the opportunities that we have picked are in relation to trauma, cultural competency, substance abuse, domestic violence, the world that we live in, unfortunately, and the children that we serve as CASA volunteers. So yeah, I think that that's going to be, I think it'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing how many of our volunteers join in with that, for sure. So I think that we are going to move on. I see some of our volunteers are saying hi on the chat. So hello to everybody. I'm super happy to see you. I think that I might have lost Ja'Kee here. We were just talking about technical difficulties, and here it is. Ja'Kee was very nice to say that we have technical difficulties. It's usually me in training. So if I have taught you anything, you know that technical stuff is not my forte. So I think we lost Ja'Kee, but I am just going to keep going until he gets back frantically. Just kidding. So as we were talking about those training opportunities, I want to stress that the opportunities that I'm about to talk about are not, they are similar to the ones that will be in this competition, but the competition has a condensed list. I'm going to give you a full list of opportunities, but if you want to participate in this training competition, those specific opportunities will be given to you by your advocate supervisor. So I will probably repeat that a few times just to make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about. But I want to show you all the approved movie list that we have available for you all. And this list has been shared several times, probably by your advocate supervisors. We've had these movies available and been talking about them for a while. The movies on this list, like Ja'Kee had mentioned, can be seen from a number of platforms. There is Netflix, Amazon Prime. Some of them are on YouTube. A few of them are free and able, if you Google the title of the movie, you should be able to see where it is or how it comes from. Hey, I think Ja'Kee is coming back. Talk about technical difficulties and saving the day. There he is. Okay, so I'm talking about the movie list, and Ja'Kee was actually one of the first people to kind of start pushing us to approve some movies. And so from that list, Ja'Kee, give me your number one movie or one movie that you would recommend that people would watch that would help them with CASA.
Oh man, there's so many on that list that I really like. If you're looking for something that it's got some comedy to it, my number one would probably be Instant Family. It's got, Mark Wahlberg, and it's got Rose Byrne. And it's basically talking about this couple who go through the process of adopting or fostering first, and then ultimately adopting this, the sibling group of three. And it's there's so many undertones and things that you don't normally think about when you think about the kids that we serve. And they tell this story kind of in a very comedic but serious way. And so if you're looking for something that is, kind of along those lines, that is probably my go-to. If you want to kind of get a feel for foster care, that whole process, adoption, and the challenges that a lot of people face, that's probably the one. There is another one that's got Steve Carell in it. It is a very heavy movie. I can't think of the exact name of it. Is it The Boy?
Beautiful Boy.
Beautiful Boy.
Yeah.
That movie is very heavy, but it deals with addiction and just the challenges of how people who deal with addiction and they relapse and they really struggle with it. It's not something that you can just kick. You know, a lot of times we deal with these parents that struggle with addiction, and in our mind we want to say, well, why don't they just stop using drugs, or why won't they just choose their children over their addiction? And so that movie really like goes in depth about like how difficult it is to kick addiction and to stay clean. As we know that people who deal with addiction are always going to be in a state of recovery. They're never going to really reach a, a, a point in their life where they're, you know, not going to ever be tempted again necessarily. So those are probably my two on opposite extremes. And there was another one that I thought about that's on that list. I mean, everybody likes The Blind Side. That's a great film as well. I mean, there's just so many on that list that I personally enjoy. Moonlight, which is on Netflix, was that movie kind of shocked me a little bit because it's got a very different plot to it, but it's still another one that is relative to the kind of kids that we serve, and even some of those darker topics that we don't necessarily like to talk about or even acknowledge. That movie kind of gets into some of that. So that's another great film off of the movie list.
Yeah, Moonlight probably is one of my favorites, but as Ja'Kee said, it's dark, it's a little
Hmm.
heavy. And so as you consider the list that you can see or get from your advocate supervisor or Ja'Kee or I, be sure to check out those ratings because some of
Hmm.
them do have strong language or sexual situations and it's real life, but also we just wanted to kind of prepare you for that, if I can say that. In addition to movies, like we said, there is a list of approved books that you can read. And the list that we have for you here is not a complete list. There are a lot of books that you can read. You can again get that list from your advocate supervisor or from myself or Ja'Kee. We would say that 100 pages would equal 1 hour of training. So generally, this list has books that are about 300 pages. So you're looking at anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours of training for those books. That's just an option. Some of us don't like to read, or some of us maybe cannot just get to these books right now because our libraries are not open. So that is an option if you are interested. Another option that we have are our webinars. And there are several different national programs that are providing free webinars for the public. Ja'Kee and I have been kind of looking over some of them, and I can say that the ones that focus on trauma have been really good. I just saw one where it was I was expecting the typical webinar format with power. And while this webinar had that, it also had a video of an adolescent, his mother meeting with a therapist. Now, the mother and son were actors, but the therapist was real. And so they went through this simulation of what it would look like to be sitting in therapy with a mom and a son. And it was just really powerful. I really enjoyed it. And so that opportunity is out there. These webinars usually last about an hour and a half too. So
Hmm.
that is another different platform than videos or reading that you guys can look into. The final opportunity that we have for training would be videos. And videos and movies are slightly different. The movie list that we provided is Hollywood movies or long documentaries. This list of videos that we have for you are generally about an hour long, and just about most of them are available on PBS. One of them, Broken Places, is actually a video that is being played right now on PBS, not this moment, but it's playing in rotation on your local PBS stations. The others have come and gone, but they are all currently available on pbs.org. There's also Education Matters with our state superintendent, Joy Hofmeister. And there are 2 episodes equaling 1 hour that talk about trauma in the classroom. So again, these are topics specific to CASA that you guys can really enjoy. That Broken Places was really good. It talked about ACEs and it followed families. It was wonderful. Ja'Kee, you saw that, right?
Yes. And it was interesting how they had basically tracked these families um, from earlier stages. So they kind of followed them over a span of years, and just to kind of see how some of them turned out, some of the challenges that they inevitably fell into. I think that was probably the most shocking thing to me. Not to give away details about the episode, but um, the ACEs study and how it predicts that, the likelihood of a person having certain challenges, a lot of that aligned, and it was interesting to see some of that play out in some of those people.
Yeah, that probably is probably one of my favorite ones so far that that came on and that's on that list. There's also a documentary about domestic violence and another one about medicating children that might
That was
not
good
be.
too.
Yeah, the medicating children one was good. They might not be on pbs.org, but we can get that information for you because they are public. And so again, the medicating children talked really deeply about not just, kids are taking medications for their mental health, but really what does that look like? How does that affect the family? And it was
hmm
a deep dive for sure.
So it was interesting because that one family, if you remember, the mom said everybody in this house is on medication, including the dog, except
Right,
I think they had one daughter. So even the
right,
dog was taking medication as a result of uh, their son's mental illnesses. So
right. It was good stuff. Again, these are 1 hour videos that you can watch. So maybe if you don't want something quite as heavy as, say, Moonlight or one of those documentaries on Netflix, these videos are a great opportunity as well. So we do, like I said, have a lot of these opportunities. Now, the lists again that you have just seen are a larger list of opportunities for you all. The giveaway or the competition that Ja'Kee was talking about has a more condensed list of trainings and opportunities that you would need to complete in order to participate in the competition. So again, if there are questions about that, you can definitely meet with your advocate supervisor or contact one of us to figure out the details on that competition. I also wanted to give just a really quick plug. If you are watching and are not a volunteer, we are taking applications always because there is always to advocate for children in Oklahoma County. So you can go to our website at okcountycasa.org for more information and apply. We are even doing interviews right now via online platforms. And so Kathy and Camila, our recruitment department, are willing to talk to you, maybe just to give you some information if you have questions. Like I said, we still need volunteers. I wish that all of the good news that we're hearing about people coming together meant that there was a less of a need, but children still need a voice, and that can definitely come from you. And once you apply, then you can hang out with Ja'Kee and I for 8 weeks and do training because we are awesome, aren't we,
they
Ja'Kee?
don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. I'm kidding. We have a lot of fun, and we learn some stuff along the way. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it truly is. And we would love to get to meet you guys. So on that note, I think that we are about done for the day with this live stream. I appreciate all the great comments, and I saw that Lauren Eastlis was there. So hi everybody. We
Hey,
appreciate
Lauren.
you guys listening and watching, and I think that's it. Anything else, Ja'Kee?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything.
All right. Well, until next time, we appreciate you all. Stay safe, and hopefully we will hear from you. Take care.